Hello, I'm Paula from Chic Emporium, and today we're going to do a really simple project that I think you might enjoy. I've spent the last half an hour, literally the last half an hour, scrubbing the labels off these 8 bottles. Some of them come off really easy and you think, yay! And then the next one takes forever and you're just scrubbing and scrubbing. So, in cases like this one, you get little bits that are just left that just will not come off, but that's fine, don't worry about it too much, it will be perfectly covered with the paint. So the other things that you need for this project is obviously paint, a brush, we're going to need some finishing coat, one of these kind of brushes, and a pot to put your finishing coat in. Now this was a little present given to me by Father Christmas, which I thought was rather insightful of him. These gorgeous duck and rabbit napkins that we're going to apply to these bottles today. So I'm going to show you how to do this decoupage. This is one of the most simplest forms of decoupage in my experience, and it's a project that I think anyone can do, and I think you'll probably really enjoy it. So what I'm going to do first, now I've got the labels off, is use the paint to paint the bottles underneath as well, and I'm going to have to use my hairdryer to speed the drying process up. So once we've got a bit further down the line, I'll show you where we're at, okay? See you in a bit. Oh yeah, right, we've done one coat of wedding cake, which is quite a pure white, and I wanted to say, as you can see, this bottle doesn't look as well covered, but that's because it's a green bottle. You can use both, it's not a problem, it will cover, so don't worry about whether it's a white bottle or a green bottle, it covers everything. It just might need a little bit extra paint. And as you can also see, all of the bottles are different shapes and sizes. Some have grooves in, some have dents in, some are quite fat and round, some are tall and thin. It doesn't matter. I get my bottles from all over the place. I've asked my friends to save them for me. I genuinely haven't drank every last drop that's come out of these bottles, tempting as it might be. So I've often come home of a day of working to find a whole ton of bottles waiting for me on my doorstep, which makes me look like Alki of the street, but that's what you've got to do. You can also go into pubs and ask them to save you bottles. They're quite happy to do that most of the time. So there's lots of ways of sourcing this free thing and then upcycling it into something absolutely gorgeous. So decoupage, which is what we're going to be doing today, is literally meaning sticking something on to something else. So you can use lots of things for decoupage, and today we're going to be using paper napkins, but you can use cardstock, you can use fabric, you can use wallpaper, you can use pictures that you've printed off from the computer. It's still all called decoupage. It's just a means of decorating and making something pretty. So I'm going to carry on painting because obviously more coverage is needed, and then we'll come back when they're all painted completely white. Right, thanks. Right, so I've got my bunny, I've got my little pot of finishing coat, and I've got my little brush. So I'm going to work out roughly where I want me rabbit. So I'm going to use my brush and just slosh the finishing coat on. Now it's not exact, it doesn't have to be exact because it dries fairly matte, and we're going to be finishing the rest of the bottle off with finishing coat anyway. So I just want to make the area wet, evenly wet, not running. And it's important that we put the finishing coat on the bottle, not on the back of the paper, because that would totally dissolve it. So I've placed the bunny onto my wet patch, and I'm using my brush to very gently smooth out from the centre outwards. Now where the background was wedding cake and white, and so was the background of the bunny napkin white, the white is just dissolving into the bottle, so it just looks like the picture of a bunny's been almost hand painted on. So that's the secret of good decoupage, is to find something with the same colour background as what you've painted. So as you can see, it's looking rather splendid. And I'm going to carry on painting all of the bottles in exactly the same way. Right, so as you can see, they're all on. They went on really easily, even in the dips and the bumps of the different bottles. It hasn't really affected it at all. They just look great. So what I'm going to do now is go over the rest of all of the bottles with finishing coat, which will protect them. So I'll pop back in a bit. Okay. Hiya. So as you can see, I've finished off most of the bottles, leaving the last one to show you how I did it. Usually I use a glue gun, which I haven't actually used today, but I usually use a glue gun to put lace, and I cut sections like that, and here is an example of the lace on it, and I would literally wrap it round and put some blobs of glue there, stick it on, and some blobs of glue on the top and stick it over the top, and then I do another layer and maybe even another layer. So that's one option. There's also ribbon, which you could do exactly the same, but I didn't think it particularly went with the image. So I'm using this garden twine, which is brilliant. I bought this from the range. It was about £6, but it's lasted me forever. I'm getting near the end now, but it was a big wrap, and it's got bendiness in it, so I don't need the glue gun. I can just twist it like you would a sandwich tie, and then I'm going to just overlap the edge so it's all neat and tidy, and then wrap it round fairly haphazardly. I don't really want it solid, I want some of the white showing. So there we are. Now I'm going to cut a section off, wrap it around, find the bit that's loose, tuck it in, and then go around a bit further and find a loop and just tuck it in. And I can bend it back on itself so it won't come undone. There we are. Lovely. So, I hope you've learnt something, and we'll have a go at this really easy upcycling project. It's been fun, I love the results. Please follow my page and like it. It's www.facebook.com/The Emporium Furniture, which will take you straight to Chic Emporium. Thank you, until next time.